welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be looking at the 3 big brands of braiding hair in Nigeria, and we are going to be deciding which one of them is the best to use, either as a braider or as a hairstylist who uses braiding hair. To make this as equal as possible, I used a product from each of the brands that are almost equal or equal. For the darling hair, I picked the Superstar. For Lush, I picked Wild Braids, and for Expression, I picked the Rich Braid. So these ones came out at 1,700 in the market at the time when I got them. So the first test is the weight test. I started with Darling, and Darling came out at 228 grams, which is 2 grams less than it says on its packaging. Expression came out at a whopping 235 grams, 5 grams more than it says on its packaging. Wild Braids for Lush came out at 229 grams, which is just 1 less than it says on its packaging, but still less. Anyway, so that's the end of the weight test. Next, we are going to the length test. We're going to be testing them according to their length. So Lush hair came out at 42 inches. The next one we'll be testing is the Darling hair. Darling hair is at 43 inches. Expression hair is the next, and it came out at 42 inches. So Darling won that round. Okay, so now we are looking at texture. For texture, I noticed that Expression has slightly straight and slightly kinky extensions. I don't know what that's about, but it's not really evident in the camera, but it happens in every single one of their braiding hair extensions. Like, they have slightly straight and slightly patterned hair extensions. For Lush, however, all of the hairs are textured. Like, they have this textured look in every single one of them. So that's the one thing I noticed about Lush that I really like. Like, it has the same texture all around. As for Darling has nearly the same as Expression, slightly straight and slightly textured in most of it. Okay, now we are moving to the brush test. We were starting with Darling hair, which was actually very easy for me to brush, and I'm going to attribute this to the fact that it has slightly straight and slightly textured hair. Yeah. Next, we're going to be doing Expression. Expression was as easy as Darling to brush. Like, it was just easy to brush. And notice that I have not stretched any of these hair extensions. I just brushed them, cut them, and I just cut them from their packaging and brushed them as they are. So I'm pointing out here what the slightly straight and slightly textured hair looks like. Like, I'm trying to make sure that you see how obvious it is in the textures, and it is nice, but for my OCD, I don't know. I like everything even, so that's the downside for me for this braiding hair extension. For Lush hair, however, it was very hard to brush, and it really is because it has textured hair moisture. It tangled up really easily. But honestly, look at the bright side. You know, it has textured hair all through, so your braids are likely to come out looking the same. Yeah, so Lush was really happy that I brushed. Alright, now we are going to the braiding test. This is how Lush hair looked after braiding. Like, it was really clean. I'm really sorry that most of this part of the video went out of frame. I tried checking to see if I had made another one, but unfortunately I couldn't find any. But this is how it looked. I promise you're still going to see this again when I dip it in hot water, but this is how lush hair looked when I braided it, and that's what the ends are like. I'm going to be curling the ends up just so we can have a curl test for each of them at the end. This is how darling looked. I have a closer video of this, and this is how darling looked. It's really clean too. Like, if you're good at braiding, this is what it's going to look like. Of course, we're still going to be doing the hot water test, so we would, know how it looks like at the end of everything. This is how much hair I had left that I'll use to curl. This is expression hair, also clean, also nicely clean. Like I said before, if you're a good braider, your braids should come out looking nice, no matter what kind of braiding hair extensions that you use. You just need to know how well they respond to all the other things that would affect what your braids would look like. So this is the hair I left that we're going to be coiling for the curl test. Now we are in the fun part, the flame test. We're going to be putting them through fire, and we're starting with the expression hair. I have my gas lighter, and that's what I'm going to be using to test them out. You would notice that expression hair, as soon as you light fire to it, it burns and then goes off. It burns and goes off, which is a really nice thing to have when you're using your braiding hair extension. Either it catches fire or you're burning it. However, for lush hair, that is not the case. When you put fire to lush hair, it burns and burns. I had to take this out, and then what happens is you have this gold residue from the area where you burn it. So if you're the type that burns your braids, I would suggest you do not do that when using lush hair. Please note that this is included in the packaging where it says do not expose to naked fire. For darling hair, it is much like expression hair, because what happens is when you light fire to it, it also has the same reaction as expression hair. It burns for a bit and then it goes out. Now it's time to move on to the next test, which is the hot water test. I usually like to let my hot water be between 85 to 92 degrees in heat, just so that I can have the perfect temperature to set my braids. So I added hot water to each of the braids after braiding them, and then we're going to go back and look at how well they reacted to the hot water. Starting with Lush hair, you would see that it stays nearly the same as it is when it is without the hot water. Like the size, the texture, it's just the same, which is a very nice thing to have, because our hair, our Nigerian hair, is not actually straight. It has a little bit of texture in it, even when it has been relaxed. For Darling, however, it looks straight, which, if that's the look you're going for, is also alright. So straight is for Darling, and yeah, that looks nice. For expression, you will notice that some parts of the braids are straight while other parts are textured. I do not know whether the reflection of light is going to make this better or worse for you to see, but you have to be a very experienced braider in order for you to hide this flaw in your braids. It's time for curl test. So this is how expression curl came out. Yeah, so I used the same size of coiling rods for all of them, as you would have seen in the video where I was adding hot water. This is how expression curl came out. And this is how Lush curl came out. Maybe it had like longer hair, I do not know. I think I cut them in the same sizes, but this is how Lush hair came out. And this is how Darling hair came out. You would probably have better or worse curls depending on how good you are in curling up your braids, but this is what they look like as I was testing them. Alright, so that is how we come to the end of this video. We've tested these 3 braiding hair extensions, and I hope this video, as in one way or another, helped you to decide which one of these you would use for your next braiding hairstyle as a hairstylist, or for any other hairstyles that you would need to use braiding hair extensions. If this video has been of help to you in any way, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, I would see you in my next video very soon. And if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to read them. See you. Bye.